Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Amplify with Adam. Today we have Jeremy here from JMG Tool. Jeremy, man, really excited to have you on. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Jeremy, I gave you a little bit of an intro, but tell us about yourself, man. Tell us who you are, how you got into manufacturing, a little bit about JMG Tool. Let's just get into it.
Okay. I kind of got into manufacturing when I was younger in high school. I started working at a Harley shop, and they had a machine shop there. And I did like an apprenticeship with the motor guys, and started rebuilding Harley motors and learning how to use the manual machines and manual mill, lathe, surface grinder, and hones and stuff. And kind of went from there. After that, I was there for a while, and then I started my own motorcycle shop, which I was doing custom stuff, and that was kind of before the housing market all went out. And after that happened, I went into working at machine shops and worked at a few different machine shops and learned as much as I could, and decided it was time to go back out for myself and have my own machine shop.
So JMG Tool is your second small business that you've owned.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what I'd love to hear a little bit more about the Harley shop here in just a little while, because I love motorcycles myself. But one thing I'd be interested in is, what are some lessons that you learned kind of in that first small business venture that you took to JMG Tool, to have a better go at it the second time?
I narrowed my focus. I focused more on doing one type of aspect of it instead of being general and covering everything, because then you just kind of spread yourself too thin, trying to make everyone happy.
Mm-hmm.
You can only get so much done in a day. So I just focus on, the machines I have are good for doing certain types of jobs, and those are the jobs I stick with. And eventually I expand and add more machines as I go, but I can only do what I can do.
Yeah. Now I get you. So what are the types of jobs that you focus on with JMG Tool?
Mostly like small turn mill parts, parts that fit well in like less than 1 inch diameter, like Swiss type parts, short, that need milling and turning. And I started to get more into milling. I added another milling machine this year, and so I got a 4-axis mill where I'm doing some more complicated mill parts, stuff with that.
No, that's interesting. So when you were looking at getting the 4-axis milling machine, was that because you were, there was some milling work that your customers were coming to you with that you weren't able to take on at that point, and you said, hey, I want to be able to take on this work? Or was it kind of, I'll buy the machine, the work will come. Like, I know the work's out there. I know I can go get it. What did that process look like?
There seems to be so much milling work out there that I could probably add 2 more mills and still not have enough. That seems to be the one thing that everybody needs is mill parts.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much the drive. Was the other milling machine I had was always occupied, and so I was turning away so much milling jobs that I had to add another machine in there. So got that one, and hopefully adding another one this year.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Now I see you guys are a family-owned business. So do other members of your family work in the shop with you?
Yep, my son's out there right now running some machines. My wife's in here doing some paperwork stuff, and and it's a win.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So what's the process been like in teaching your son some parts of the trade? One thing I always ask folks that come on the show is throughout your experience, right, when you're talking to folks in the younger generation that are thinking about getting into machining, what are some pieces of advice that you pass along to those folks interested in getting into the space? Obviously you've got one of them, in your family and also working in your shop. What are some pieces of advice that you've passed along there?
I just try to take it slow with them because, they don't have shop class really in school. So they aren't really exposed to it or that type of environment. So I just got to take it one step at a time and, try to, it's been a good experience because him not having any knowledge of it really has forced me to make my programs better and everything else, to kind of think about things that he might do wrong to try to avoid any accidents happening.
That's funny. Yeah, no, that makes the preventative nature. I like that. But I mean, they do say, I'm sure that it's helped you kind of, firm up some of the things that is that you truly know something when you can teach it, right? So the process of teaching it can almost help you kind of relearn some lessons that you may have learned at a younger age, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
So when you're talking about him not having shop class in school, but it sounds like you were maybe exposed to it when you were in school because you were drawn to this Harley shop. Did you have shop class when you were in high school or college?
Yeah, we had a metal shop in high school. So we had manual lathes in high school and welding and everything else. We had automotive and wood shop and even construction classes. Where kids could leave high school and go work somewhere. They don't really seem to have that these days.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, and it can, it's not that system is the root cause for some of the deficit and talented workforce, right? But it is interesting to not have some of the emphasis on those classes. Now, with your vast experience in the automotive space from the machining side of things, is that where a lot of your work tends to focus? I know you talked about kind of small turning parts there. Are you still working in the automotive space at all, or have you kind of diversified to aerospace, medical, etc.?
I pretty much diversified. I don't like focusing too much on one industry because when those industries go down, another one has work. So I do a lot of aerospace and architectural stuff and a little bit of automotive here and there. Actually don't really do much at all with automotive stuff lately.
That's funny. Are you still working on your own motorcycle at all, or do you still have one?
No, I currently don't have one. My son just sold his, so right now no motorcycle.
That's funny. So you were talking a little bit about you potentially an additional milling machine in the future, but what are some other technologies or other growth opportunities that you see for JMG Tool as we look forward in 2021 and even a little further beyond? What are some things that are kind of drawing your eye?
Well, I just started getting into additive. I just picked up a 3D printer and started getting into that. Other than that, I've been looking at a mill turn machine, dual spindle type machine. I'm just kind of running out of space right now, so I'm also looking into a bigger location to put everything in. So
well, that's a good problem to have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, that sounds exciting, and man, we would love to talk to you again as we kind of chart the growth path for JMG Tool as you're starting to add more capabilities, maybe a little further down the road, hear your additive experience as well. So really have enjoyed having you on the show, and hopefully we can catch up again sometime in the future.
All right, sounds good.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, hey, everyone, thank you for checking in for another episode of Amplify with Adam. Tune in next week for another one. Thanks, Jeremy.
All right, thanks a lot.